I wanna try and take in all the highs, embrace them for more than a moment's time. I want you, please don't move when I push you away. I know I contradict myself some days, but will you ride the lows with me?
Welcome to Mental Health News Radio. I am your host, Kristin Sunanta Walker. Our goal is to help discussions about mental health be a regular part of your daily life, no different than discussions about physical health. Mental illness can be a topic of discussion under the umbrella of mental health, along with so many other topics. This show is the original program on mentalhealthnewsradionetwork.com. Our network of shows are played in over 180 countries and cover more topics under that umbrella than you can possibly imagine. We were talking about mental health long before it became cool and popular to talk about, and thank goodness it has become so popular. We have incredible guests, advocates, patients, experts, people. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy our intro music, a song named Lows, written by Aubrey Toon. You can find her music at www.aubreytoone.com.
That night when I started praying, I cried. Will you ride the lows with me? Will you ride the lows with me? When I'm down, my vision gets blurry.
Hello, listeners. Kristin Walker here, and I have a good friend and an amazing guest. Her name is Chaya. She's going to tell you more about who she is so that I don't butcher anything. Chaya, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you so much, Kristin. I think we are connected, especially because you carry my mother's middle name. And what are the odds?
Really?
I mean, I'm sorry. Your middle name is my mother's first name. This is my ADHD brain racing, right? I think haven't I told you, Sunanta?
Sunanta is are you serious?
Yeah, is my mother's first name. And but it's Sunanda. It's the D.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's the same. Yeah, so I mean, I grew up in India, so she is no more, and I've never ever met anyone with that name. Forget about even Indian. And then here you come, and one of our conversations, when you mentioned your middle name, I am like, what? Is that my mother here? Because I really felt her presence.
Wow.
Many times after she passed away. Oh, that's a whole different topic, but
wow.
Yeah.
I had no, I mean, you hear things when you need to hear them, right? So I'm sure you told me that, and it like escaped my, in my ADHD brain.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
It went toodaloo right out the window. And today I'm like, this is why I'm always like, I wonder why I feel so connected to her. That's so odd. And today I'm like, okay, another reason why I feel
and it's recorded, so
exactly, there's no denying this now.
There's no denying it, right? So my name is Chaya Mallavaram. I grew up in India, and now I've been living in the US for 27 years. And I've traveled all over the world, and I've realized we're all humans, irrespective of race, color, gender, doesn't matter. And the more we realize that, we will tap into our true self, and we stop actually looking at ourselves from that angle. If I start looking at myself as an Indian woman, it becomes limiting. So I'm a soul here to do good, to heal the planet in the way that I know. So I'm the founder and CEO of Spark Launch, where we are building a holistic platform for ADHD children, families, and educators. And it's called Sparkade. Our app is Sparkade. So play.sparkade.app. And also I'm an artist. I've always been an artist from day one. Thank you for this opportunity for a long introduction.
It's so much better than if I would have said it. It would have been like, what is this AI voice that sounds weird? Is that a real person? Yeah. I get that on some of the things I've recorded. People will go, oh, get rid of the AI voice. And I'm like, it's really my voice. This is not AI. But anyway, you did a much better job than I would have. Thank you. And I saw the game. You showed it to me the other day, and I cannot believe what you've created. I just can't. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah. It's actually, I might have shown the proof of concept. So we first built a game and we got a lot of input. Now we are building a homegrown game from the minds of the creative team that I have. So our chief product officer has been an avid gamer, and he's the game designer, and he has ADHD and dyslexia, and
He got the upgrade too. Got it.
Yeah. And I'm the creative. So the art part, I because I've always been obsessed with the visuals, and art sends out a vibration. And that vibration is actually passed on by the creator of the art. I realized this when I would do my art shows, when some of the people connected to my art, not everybody, right? I realized we're not meant for everybody. And they would just tear up. So I somehow realized what the way I felt, the energy that I put into my painting was transferred to the painting, and it was felt by the other person, because I paint in abstracts. So now why would it make someone cry? And they bawled over it. And that's when I realized, gosh, I need to heal the planet, because as I've healed myself, we become healers. We all become healers. We are all healers as we are healing ourselves, because everything is energy. And the more we tap into our high vibration energies, the more we will emit that, because what we are is what we radiate, and other people will feel it. Somehow all of this spiritual lingo comes out when I'm with you, Kristin. I have to say, it's not with everybody. Something.
I know, because we just go there. I love it, and I don't hold back on my show now that I am. I want to be careful with all due respect for every single show that's been a part of my network, Mental Health News Radio Network. All respect for every single show. However, it became very apparent to me in the last few weeks, September, October of 2025, that I needed to go back to the very reason I started my network, which was niche. I mean, when I started my network, you didn't even talk about mental health on podcasts. Like, you didn't say those words. I was told by famous people in the mental health space, God forbid you ever name your network anything to do with mental health. No one will listen. And, they were right at the time, right? But I said, well, screw that. I'm going to do it anyway. But then as I got into it, we all go through our journeys, right? So I got into it and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to scale, and I'm going to have to climb all these ladders, and I'm going to have to follow this corporate thing, and I'm going to have to do a documentary, and I got to do a TED talk, and this was before diagnosis of autism and ADHD. And I just burned myself out on the very thing I created out of love to cover niche topics. And then it got big, and corporate clients and this and that. And what I decided was I'm going to go back to my original reasons for ever starting this thing and focus on niche within. Mental health is not niche anymore. Yay! Yay. Fantastic. That was that good. If we were a tiny, tiny grain of sand that helped that happen, fantastic. But now it's time to go back to the niche places like the murder suicide show,
Oh,
you know, unspoken grief, and what Spark Launch is doing, and all of these things that we
everything.
talk
The
about.
truth, basically the truth.
Yeah, so I am not going to hold back on anything I
We
really
should
believe.
not.
This is fully unmasked me now. All I've got 14 years of masked that I didn't know, I really
Yeah,
didn't know, and now it's here. And
yeah,
so I'm just going to talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about, and
yeah, exactly.
people I feel
Because
good about doing that with.
yeah, because when you do that, you're in your authentic space, and that's all the universe is calling for, to be
Yes.
truly ourselves. And it's okay if it's not perfect, right? You were masking because you didn't know,
Yep.
and that's what the world said you have to do. And you went to places because you were doing what you felt at that time, and it's okay, right? This is where
Right.
there's no wrong answer. It's all a journey, and you realized certain things. But this is the key aspect, right? This is where I want really people to do, is to, once they realize, right, this is where the self realization, once you realize, uh, that's when you have to make that shift,
Yes.
right? For you, coming back to your roots, it could be anything, right? The trauma happens, continues, if you continue on the same path even after you realize.
Yes.
So that is
Yeah.
where, why would people continue on the wrong path? Because of fear.
Yes, exactly. And fear. And really, you're right. Fear drives the whole thing because even if it was for the money, that's still driven by
Yeah,
fear.
because where are we taking the money? Tell
Right.
me. It's the fear. And also about money, if we, there's this, again, fear in us, thinking we have to make X, Y, and Z, and if we do things that are that the world wants us to do, we'll make that, right? But I'm here to tell you, if you will make money, and if you vibrate love, so when you do things that you love, that you enjoy, and just the more people you serve from that love, the way you know it, we don't have to, this is where I want to stop burnout, right? I
Yes.
love this. I'm going to do this 24/7,
Right.
365 days a year. It's not going to work out because you're going to be burnt out, right? And so learning how to balance and actually do nothing, maybe take a nap,
Yeah.
do something else that we enjoy, or do nothing, like literally stare at the sky and the stars, or just clouds. Right? So just take breaks, just love every part of your journey, and you will go where you're meant to go, and you will be protected by the universe, right? We will be.
You are. And what's so fascinating about that journey of welcoming your authentic self, part of it is figuring out what the heck that is, because if you started masking at a young age, which I did, and I didn't find out until age 54, and then went through the process, you kind of learn, the new friends that come in that are going to be your long-term friends. You're one of them, my friend Kwan. I mean, there's a few people, and then you start noticing the people that really aren't supportive of that journey. They aren't supportive of you being your authentic self there. And you got to go through your anger and hurt and all those things about when that happens. But because you are on the journey with yourself and you're waking up to yourself every day, the hurt starts to become less about hurt and it becomes more about interesting data. So I don't deny that, oh, some of those friendships that were so horribly unsupportive of me being my actual real self, I went, the hurt and pain through that, but then I realized, oh, okay, that's just interesting data. I can grieve that and I can let that go because that's all it was supposed to be, was for that time. It's nothing bad on me. I haven't lost anything. If anything, or actually,
Gain.
you gain yourself.
Yes, because they're here to tell you, actually, the bad relationships who never accepted you for who you were pushed you into falling in love with yourself.
Yes.
And so that's why they're here, so that you embody love, because there's nothing higher than the love within ourselves. And we want that acceptance from others. And that's where the problem is. I mean, I work through those issues myself every day because we need validation, we need love, we need connection. And letting go of connections is one of the hardest.
Yes.
And because we are outgrowing connections as we elevate, right? And so letting go of connections is really hard unless they themselves elevate to your level. When I say level, like a higher, like embodying love and just peace, inner peace, right? And enlightenment. I don't know, we're all headed towards enlightenment, but then so when somebody that is not vibrating your energy, they fall off, and you want to hold on, and for you to connect with them, you have to go back to that level, because
Right.
if
It's
you
so uncomfortable. And,
it's
and
so
they're just being themselves and how they've always been,
yeah,
but also irritated that you're not being the
correct,
container that they're used to anymore.
correct. Let's say you were gossiping with
Right.
your friends one day, right? Like previously, and now you're no longer talking badly about others.
Right.
They're like, what happened to this person? I want to gossip, I want to bitch about others. Where is
Exactly.
my partner in crime?
And you're like, and you come in and you're like, now I want
Love.
to talk about the universe and how we're all connected. And they look at you like, what?
What?
What's
I know.
happened to you? You're going, how many times I've heard you're going off on something, especially around the diagnosis. Oh, are you going to become one of those people that's all about your diagnosis and all? Oh, I just
Yeah.
thought, wow, okay, this is not a good relationship for me.
Yeah, for you, right? But they're also on a journey. So
Exactly.
um and we don't know. I don't even know my own journey. How would I know others? Right.
Right.
So we just
Exactly.
yeah, so our journey is to let go of those connections that are not serving us and do something,
And
just
wish them
embrace our
well.
own journey.
Yeah, and I wish them all so much wellness and
Yeah.
joy in their own lives. And I was not participating in what they felt was their wellness and joy anymore. And okay, so we move on.
Yeah.
And now I can fully participate, and I don't have to climb a ladder all the time for career success, only to get to the top of that ladder and realize you're now at the bottom rung of your next ladder. That doesn't work with my system. It just does not work for me. The whole climbing, climbing, climbing. No, no, no. You know what works for me? Being. That's what works for me.
Yeah.
But
We're human beings.
exactly. We would be called human doings if that was what a human doing, if that's what we were actually are. But no, we're a human being.
Yeah.
So how do you, with creating Sparkle Launch, and you have your toe into, the business side of things, obviously, because you have to. So how are you balancing the artist part of you, and with the need to, you got to promote yourself, you've got to do this, you've got to keep the business part going. How do you balance those
Oh,
two?
totally. So the art part, like the actual canvas art,
Yeah.
I try to do every day, but there are days that I cannot, which is fine because my business is also my creative expression.
Right.
So Spark Launch is my creativity. But what is special about this is we are co-creating. I have an amazing team, and we just imagine this. You're creating this dish, right? Which is amazing. This dish that you're creating, and now you bring in a team of people, and you're all co-creating that dish. So that means you have to learn about everyone's unique skills and talents and respect them for who they are and allow for their own creativity to show up. And that happens when you give people freedom.
Yeah.
And you inspire them to show up with their best selves. And that's what I'm trying to do, which is new to me because I've never taken any leadership course or just what the traditional world would say you need to run a business. But I know myself, and I know these principles of the universe, and I'm embodying that, working on that, and just respecting people for who they are.
It's amazing. It's kind of amazing to I have people that do things for me for the network that, they all have a ton of issues, right? We all have our issues and we just are open about them. No one tries to hide them. And like it would never work in a corporate environment because one of my team members needs every Tuesday, don't contact them because that's a big therapy day. What corporate environment would like support that
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing? And I'm like,
It's so
I honor that's on my calendar. Don't call this person today because this is their day of doing what they need to do for their inner work. And so, of course, I'm going to be like, yes, do that. But, if you worked at ABC Inc. that's on the stock market exchange, that is not what you're going
yeah,
to.
yeah, because and that person that you're talking about might work when they're up in the night, right? So not
Exactly.
9 to 5. They'll If you allow people, if you have certain expectations, and those expectations are set together, not the traditional boss employee relationship. Here's your work, get it done by this particular date, right? But when you co-create the goals together and just give people freedom, they will show up 100%.
And exceed
Exceed.
any kind of expectation that you possibly could have ever had in the limited little container, that we're allowed, especially creatives. Yeah, I love it. And I love having people that are, they're their own boss. So they would be considered a vendor. That is my game right there. Like that's my bag because then you are fully autonomous. You care because it's your own company.
Correct.
There's an extra bit of something there for me that I really admire, and probably because I like that about myself too, that I've never been a good employee.
Yeah, I've been a horrible intro because I would leave at 3:30 to go pick up my son, and people didn't like that. But I would work late at night or just get the job done, and my mind was very fast, so I would get a lot of stuff
Yeah.
done. I liked complex problems, right? But people always saw that aspect that I left at 3:30 and
Right.
ding me for that. And then also I want to talk about the HR in organizations.
Yes.
It took me a long time that they actually work for the company, and and not for the humans in the company. And so one day, if we have a HR team, I will say, please listen to the people and work with all of us, right? Because this, if you let go of this
Hierarchy.
thank you, I was not finding
I knew you were reaching the word.
like, I was like
across my
the hierarchy. If you let go of hierarchy and just say we're all here to do different things, and let's figure out what we're good at and what we enjoy, and let's all do that, they will be work for every single person on this planet. Now people are hogging up other people's jobs. They want to climb up the ladder for some reason that looks good, and then people, and they don't know what they love. It's a journey, right? To find your love within yourself is a journey. But yeah, so I would tell anyone, just work on yourself, work through the traumas always have an answer. They have a lesson. Actually, anything that's uncomfortable has a lesson. So learn what that lesson is and implement it. This is my technical term. I always say implement. That means put it to practice. Put it to practice, that lesson. And then you will experience transformation in that action.
I'm letting that settle into my marrow for a second here. You know what I was thinking the other day? Of course, the first person I think of is you. I keep running into people, new people in my life that are talking about gaming. And I've never been a gamer. Mostly, I looked at it like, oh, I was a worker. I'd work 90, 100 hours a week, and I, you know, felt like that was made me something sturdy and a badass and whatever. And then I realized, oh, well, this is why I get depressed and burned out every 6 months and then can't work forever.
Yeah.
So that's not my jam anymore. But I keep running into people that just talk about how much they get out of gaming and the kind of gaming that they do and the games that they play. And so literally, as we were just talking, I'm like, you know what? This is an area of my life that I have been guided to 1,000 times from the time that we got our first Atari and we played Pong, for God's sake, since I'm 55. And I always shied away from it, even though I was really good at it for whatever reason. And now like, there are signposts all along the way in my life about getting into gaming.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do that with your game.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be amazing. And I would love your feedback. And whoever is downloading, and if they want to give a feedback, just come talk to me, because we are building, with the funds that we receive, nothing's going to be perfect. So we have to let go of this idea of perfection.
Right.
But we're doing our best at this moment with the resources we have. And we are constantly evolving. And so if I was just, because we're bringing in this top psychologist. She heads the therapy department in a top hospital in London into our team. And I was telling, when you are testing this with the children, if you come up with the data which says it's working for 10 people, but for 5 people, this game's not, it's not working for them. I want to know the why. I want to know why it's not working, because then we can build a new game for them. And we're all so different. So if something's not working, I want to know why, because I'm not here to prove that I'm perfect or we are perfect, and we're all different. Our needs are different. And I personally, I'm not a gamer. And this is where I had to learn to be open-minded. If I wasn't open-minded, that information would not have come to me. But I do know that many neurodivergents just gravitate towards it. And my son, he was a avid gamer. Now he games, but actual life has taken over, which he enjoys. Uh, but yeah, so we are building a platform not to make them not ADHD, not to force them to focus, but to naturally allow them to focus where their interests are and to serve them at the speed of their brain. Because
Right.
with gaming, you can do that. We're all so different and we process things differently. We might pause and look around and, just allow for who you are, so that we can focus, we can hyper focus the way we want to.
Right, because it's not about, this is what I love about what you're doing. It's not about teaching people to be more neurotypical. Your game is about, everything you do is about, no, let's dive into the hyperfocus stuff. Let's dive into all that makes you neurodivergent, and let's look at all of the ways that that is splendid, that that
Yeah,
is amazing, and that we should dive into those spaces.
exactly. And we learn, right? We are all learners, and we learn through immersive experience. And if you look at the real world, we don't just learn through books,
Right.
reading. We learn through experiences. So we want to create this safe experience for children where they can explore and try out different things and fail, because there's nothing called failure. uh, and and we hope that they don't carry the same form of trauma that we adults did, because these children, the neurodivergent children, are here to create something unique,
Yes.
that's different, that doesn't exist. And they are the ones who I truly believe will beat AI, because AI, we are going to use AI to beat AI. That's been my mantra, because what AI does is it can create from what's already been created.
Right.
So it's not, it can come up with things, but it might not make sense. But the human heart, when we create from our experience,
Yes.
from our emotions. And that's why emotional regulation is also super important, because we need to regulate to love, convert all the emotions by not shoving it, by working through it, and just learn to radiate love. And so when we create, we put our emotions into it. So if you create something out of anger, you know what happens. You might destroy stuff. Even that is a creation. But if you create out of love, it's going to touch people. It's going to change lives. It might change one person. It might, let's say you just create a pottery or something like, and then give it to a friend. It'll make her day, right? His
Right.
or her day. When you create out of love, you're putting out love into the universe, and you will make an impact, either to
Exactly.
yourself. Just, you don't even have to give it to anybody. This second you put love into your work, your heart will open up, and that's enough.
Well, first I want to say this in terms of gaming. I want to say, yes, this is being designed for children, but here's what you're doing. Here's what's interesting. There are a lot of us who couldn't cut it in school. I was one of those kids. I just it wasn't designed for me. The closest I got to school being designed for me was Montessori school. And that thank God my mom was wise enough to put me for my first, 8 years, 8 or 9 years of school were in those containers. But what happened with mine, I don't know how Montessori school is now. This is in the 70s and the 80s, right? Um, as soon as you got older, the school wanted to mainstream in order to graduate you into high school so that you could fit in whatever. That didn't work for me. That's when Montessori school became bad for me. So we never got that experience. There's a lot of us that just did not get that good experience of what school can be with the way that kids are learning and are going to learn that are being born like in January 2026, let's say, right? That's a whole other experience of what school can be. So I kind of look at it like what you're creating is not just for kids. It's for all of us who, as kids, did not
Missed
get to
out.
learn exactly. We didn't get to
Totally.
learn the way that works for our brain. So I'm
I
excited
love
as an
it.
adult to go and indulge my kid in this way of learning because it doesn't matter that I'm 55 and I'm doing something that's quote unquote for kids. It's for the kid in me that
Yeah,
needed this kind of teaching.
I love that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Because let's say you love history, but you didn't like the teacher. And so
Or
you
I
missed out.
hated science
You
because
hated
it seemed
science.
too much. But then now when I learn about sacred
Yeah.
geometry and when I watch like the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
Interstellar and I read the book that's coming out with Ryan Gosling what the Hail Mary. I read that book and I was like, oh my God, I love science.
Yeah.
I just wasn't taught in a way that
Yeah.
my brain could figure out what the hell it is.
Yeah.
But you are creating something where my brain can indulge that.
Yeah. And exactly. And that's what we hope to, and our intention is there. And that's why my vision is to have a platform with lots of games, and you would gravitate towards the ones that you want to. And there's a whole technical side for that, right? But I want to um, share that we all have that learner in us, and it was denied. If you
Yes.
were neurodivergent, it was denied, and then you got poor grades, and then you
Or you just
believed
didn't go to school like
you
me.
didn't go to.
I slept in my car instead of going to school.
Wow.
Really did. I mean, it was also massive trauma, but I really
Yeah.
did go and get dressed for school and put on all my clothes and drive my friends to school. And then I would go find a parking lot that I would be undisturbed and I could just sleep because I just could not sit in that classroom. I
It
couldn't.
was torture,
Yeah,
right? It was just pure torture.
absolute torture, 100%
So
torture.
the way I dealt with it is I daydreamed. I was
Yeah, me
physically
too.
present, mentally somewhere else.
Yes,
So
100%.
and some of the
You were
teachers.
making movies and
Oh,
building
totally.
universes
You
in
think
your
it was
brain.
blank? It was absolutely not blank. It was
Right.
going places that
While you were being
that
told you're lazy, you can't focus, you have so much potential. Blah. Yeah.
I know, right? So, but that is that creativity. So when you zone out, you're somewhere else. So the other person, the teacher, throws a chalk at you, because that's what they did to me back then, because I was not listening to them.
Right.
So it's about their ego and what I was supposed to do at that time, that expectation. But they didn't interview me and ask me, what was I daydreaming, in a nice way,
Right.
right? I'll bet they asked me, what were you dreaming, or in
What foolish notions are going through your foolish head that
yeah,
you're not paying attention? Exactly, which is in no way an invitation to be your authentic self and say, "Well, I was dreaming about this movie where these planets, blah blah blah, and then I
yeah,
created a whole new atmosphere, and there." Da, da, da." No, they didn't want to hear about any of that.
yeah, they
They're
didn't
not
want to, right?
invited to.
Yeah, exactly. So over the years, I realized I am fully present when I'm doing what I love, when I'm
Yeah.
interested in. And now they call it the interest-based nervous system. And if you do only what you love and figure out ways to add love to tasks that you don't love to do, for instance, sending a Zoom meeting for anyone is for me, it's very painful because it's just boring. It's just boring. I have to log into Zoom, and it's just not interesting. So I wait for the right time. I have to motivate myself. I create that urgency. Just add, do things to add
Some pressure.
dopamine.
Yes, we create some tension so that we
Yeah,
play with the ADHD
yeah,
to
totally.
yeah.
Right. So I do that. Like I add it as a reminder on my phone, like as an alarm, which is so cool, right? Like now it's like, woo, there's an alarm there. I can park my thought for later, and then I'll do it.
5 minutes, I checked my phone, right? I mean, my day is full of caretaking. I have a parent who has dementia, and so we're working through all of what that means, plus generational trauma for the women in our family. I mean, there's a lot going on, right? My life is very full with that. And then I do, my other things like this, and then my writing and whatever. But it's so interesting what you're saying because I'm not in the world anymore of appointments other than medical things, right? And so I had you on my calendar for today. And then I knew that I checked it yesterday. Yep, you're on my calendar. And even with all of that, I was on my way driving away at 5 minutes before we're supposed to be to go get the new iPhone because I'm going to create more with it. And I went, oh my God, I have this thing which
Yeah.
I have to turn around. I have been watching that. This is ADHD.
Yeah, that is
This.
typically ADHD because we we are in that other place, right? Wherever
Yeah.
you were headed, that you forget about this commitment you had made.
Yes.
And because we hyper focus on things and we have time blindness, totally time blindness. I am so grateful for technology. This is where technology is so helpful. If that alarm didn't scream into my ear, I wouldn't come back to the present. So I love technology because it allows me to be in different places, fully zoned out and hyper focusing on something else, some other place that I am, and then come back to this place when I hear that noise on my alarm. So I keep my phone with me like my passport because I
Oh,
couldn't survive without it.
oh yeah, and I no longer do I care about people saying, "Oh, you're always on your phone," or "Oh, you're no." You know what? I will be the
It's my BFF.
first. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I will be the first to sign up once it's been tested on others for the, wearable where you see a screen or the glasses or what even embedded. I mean, whatever. This is going to freak some people out. Don't care. I will be the first because I know it is how I do what I need to do. It is part of my creative process. I don't need a better computer sitting on my desk. I need to always upgrade my phone to handle all of the things I do with it in terms of my writing, my image creation that goes with my writing. I write all my books on my phone, everything. I run the whole network on my phone. It is all about the phone. So I am going to get the most souped up phone always. And yeah, it goes with me in the bathroom. It goes with me. Now, do I turn it off at night when I'm not, when I'm done? If I have a creative explosion at 3 in the morning, then you bet your ass I'm on my phone. But do I turn it off and have it in a separate room and give my brain a break? Of course I do. I turn off our entire router at night so that we have nothing coming in. But let me tell you, when I wake up and I do what I need to do, that important device is how I get my creative juices going. So, or it's a place to
I
put
love it.
that flow.
I wanted to add that phone was created by another neurodivergent person.
Yeah,
Steve
absolutely.
Jobs. Yes. Isn't that crazy? He created this amazing thing. And I've seen so many interviews of him. I love they talk about the negative stuff, but I don't know. I'm just hooked on to the way he created products. And I save all these reels on my Instagram. And I think what I saw this piece where he went to create a tablet. And then he said, we're going to put everything on this tablet. And then he sent he gave some tasks to some of his designers, and they came up with this, I forget, it was a menu, and it was scrollable. And then he looked at it and he got this vision of putting it onto a phone. So he put this tablet idea into the future and focused on the phone. And that's how he created the phone and created tablet 10 years after, because he realized that the phone is where everything's going to go. And isn't that crazy? And now we all, so grateful for him to have come up with that idea and actually have gone through the process. And this is where creation, just want to talk about how, we visionaries, daydreamers, we get all these thoughts and ideas, but our growth is in putting those ideas into tangible things, like the phone, for instance. That is a journey. And that's where our growth is. But if we want to do good, we want to leave a lasting impact on the planet, we have to become brave in chasing that and learning to let go of all those attachments that are not serving, and embody that strength and just go through the journey, because you will be supported. This is what happened to me, is that because there's no way that I can solve this whole problem by myself.
Right.
I create an app, but I still had to take this boat alone. This is how I see. I had to sit on the boat and have this blind belief that I am going to create this platform. And I started with coaching because I realized, my God, this person, this child gets the diagnosis, and then the child is medicated. Everybody is looking at just the child. What about the environment?
Right.
What about the family? What about the educational system? Nobody's addressing that. So I started off with coaching, always having this app in mind, this platform. I call it platform. And I started with coaching. And when I started networking on LinkedIn, I met my team. I met our co-host, Mike.
Yep.
You've met.
Yep. Amazing Mike.
Show.
Yep.
Mike Connell, our Spark Launch podcast, because I always had this vision of creating the podcast and give voices to the neurodivergent community where they can be themselves. And so I had put that intention, and the universe introduced me, Mike. And I realized he was my co-host within 5 minutes of meeting. And then I met Josh, our chief product officer and game designer, this is where we're not alone. You just trust your journey, put yourself out there, and the universe will reward you with what you need, but it's asking you to be brave
Yeah.
and grow, which is very hard, because I know when I transitioned, because I was a developer and an artist, software developer and an artist, I never spoke publicly. All my thoughts, all this complex brain was just shut off and suppressed.
Yep.
And then once I started speaking, that was a very healing journey. So I would make these videos and just believe and even be okay with nobody liking it. That's a very hard thing to do. I battle it even today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get one love for my crazy video, I am grateful. I just am grateful. We are humans. Listen, this is part of it. It's not easy. It's not easy because we want to be loved.
Yeah. You
Who
want,
doesn't want to be loved?
and we've been trained also that, in order for anything that you do to be valuable, it must have consensus from a
Yeah.
lot of people. And we've been trained on that. And when I started writing and I picked a very conscious choice of a pen name and then decided not to use the network, not to do my show. I just wanted it to be its own thing. I did that to follow this exercise, like what you're talking about, where, okay, what if I just go into it with nothing, quote unquote, literally just what I got to say that's in my brain and how I deliver it, and nobody knows that it's me doing it. I'm not coming in with already a following. And can I do that? I wanted to test my own ego and see where do I still catch my ego going, how come I only have 14 likes? How come how come only three people? And then I finally got to the spot where I'm like, oh my God, I got one like and somebody made a comment. And that's all I needed for the whole
Yeah.
week. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
one person really loved what I had to
That's
say
all.
about this, and that filled me up forever. And you
Yeah.
start to get to where you don't care anymore
Yeah.
about thousands of whatever.
Yeah. And it's a process. Now,
It is.
it is a process.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. Everything is a journey. And so that's why we have to stop listening to the noise. And now with
Yes.
our Spark Launch Instagram account, I know now our vision because I know about the game. So I'm trying a few different things. I have someone managing and creating content, and now I realize I have to create the content because nobody has this vision. I mean, it's all a journey. So you try out, see what
Yes.
works, and it's okay.
It's so true,
Everything is
though.
okay. Yeah.
It's very true, the transition. I just want people to understand that, people that are into what we're talking about. When I switched from someone else managing my social media to me, and this person is awesome, and she did so much with what she got us up to, almost 20,000 followers in some spaces and more than that in others and whatever. But it was her energy, and her energy was about growth because she was a social media manager, so we got good growth. But then when we switched over to me doing it, it was like crickets for a while because my energy was not quite, like, we're shifted the whole container.
Yeah. Which
And
is,
then it
yeah.
starts to build based on what you're
Yeah.
doing. And it's kind of amazing how that works to
It
launch it.
totally is. And when you put your energy, especially with marketing, we need a team, right? So
Yes.
I mean, we can do everything, but I think the energy should be authentic for any
Yeah.
business. And it's not about tricking people, showing. I've Kristin, I've done it myself with my art account because I'm like, I don't have time. And I am totally fine with social media managers. They're
Absolutely.
fantastic, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think the message, this is where I feel like the message, they can create content. I'm totally fine with other, but the true message should come from your soul.
Yes.
And then you can do whatever with it, right? You can create videos, you can create a post, now you have AI, it's all great, but still that message should resonate with the founder, with your intention.
Agreed.
And come from love. And that's why the product companies really do well if they focus on the product and not just the marketing, right? Because marketing is great, we need marketing. I always say, if you create an amazing product and it stays in the basement of your company, how will anybody know about it?
Exactly.
How will the world know about it? So you need a great marketing team, but the product is what will speak for itself.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, you and I both know we could go on and on.
I know. Like, this felt like our regular conversation. I didn't feel.
I know. I don't even feel like we recorded anything, but we did, and
We did.
and we're going to air this, and there's no edits because I don't do that unless it's something. I don't do that anymore unless it's something like a dog barked all over our talk. But yeah, so tell everyone where they can find out what you're doing and when they can, get access to the game and all, like all those things.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So they can go to sparklaunch.org/waitlist and enter their name and email, and we'll collect it and let them know when the game is ready. Or they can go to play.sparkade, SPARKADE.app/waitlist and do the same thing. Because Sparkade is our app, which people can download on phone and tablet. If you go to sparklaunch.org, you'll learn more about the vision of the company, what we're building, the technology, the team, the podcast, all of that. Yeah. So
and go on Instagram and look for Spark Launch. Go on LinkedIn. I mean, these people have clips. You guys have clips. You have full YouTube videos. You've got TikTok. You've got Instagram, so you can get bite-sized pieces of your talks with so many people, so many diverse people in the industry. It's amazing.
It's amazing. And when we have the games, we'll obviously be using the clips from the games. I
can't wait.
It's going to be great.
I know. I'm so excited. All right, everybody, you've got your marching orders. Go check out Spark Launch. Go check out the website. Listen to the podcast. It's so fantastic. And of course, Chaya, mwah, 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 to you.
Love back to you, Kristin. I just feel at home with you.
Same here. Same here. Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to have a little private chit chat with Chaya for a minute, and we will catch you on the next show.